you saw a therapist?
And just kept going and kept going. It just takes over your life. I was like, is this it? Like, I just make videos. And then I freaked out.
Are you happy?
I know when the cameras are on and I need to, you know, play up, I know how to do it. And then as soon as the camera's off.
This episode is supported by Huel. JJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How's life?
Yeah, it's pretty good right now. Obviously, besides the injury that stopped me from fighting in Dublin this month on the 31st, everything's been good. Like, you know, obviously that was a little hurdle, but I've kind of turned it into a dub by performing instead.
Nice.
Yeah,
so you found a way through.
Yeah, exactly. But besides that, yeah, no, good. I'm still able to train twice a day, every day, and just, do stuff with the girlfriend, do stuff with the mates, still film videos, etc. Yeah, pretty good.
You seem chilled.
Yeah, I think for me, it's funny, like, there was a period, especially this year, where I didn't really train much. I kind of just enjoyed myself and, you know, like, partied, went to Vegas, went to Japan, just really let myself go. And I enjoyed myself, but it was funny, like, because I didn't train, I wasn't at this state, which is quite funny. I feel like now, because of all the training that I've done, because of all the workouts that I've done in the past with, you know, boxing, etc., I've got to a point where I need to train to feel good. But it's just because, like, obviously, you know, whenever you train, you release endorphins, and I just feel happier in myself. Like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh wow, okay, sick, I look good, you know, I feel good, you know, I'm able to do runs, feel fit, I'm able to, you know, exercise or play football and not feel like I'm overweight or I'm tired all the time. I'm able to just enjoy myself and do stuff. So it's crazy how important exercise is to my life.
You know, I've got a couple of photos. I was going to bring these out later in the conversation.
Yeah,
We've gone there early, so
yeah.
I mean, that's great. Like, you surely you have that one on your bathroom mirror. JJ looking ripped every morning.
Yeah.
But what about that one?
Oh God, yep. That was what, a few years ago in January.
I mean, when you put those side by
it's
side,
crazy, right? That's the dedication to get to that. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, bro, it was so during the time when I was big and heavy. You know, I was still drinking. I was still, you know, just partying, doing whatever. But I didn't feel good, man. I didn't feel good in myself. I felt like I wasn't at my optimum level. And I felt like I needed to switch this up. I needed to make a change. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to get in shape. And with me, I'm the type of guy that if I put my mind to something, I'm going to make sure I get it no matter what. So, you know, every day I'd, you know, wake up nice and early, you know, get a run in or go to the gym and just do certain workouts. And then after I have a little break or do a bit of filming or do whatever I need to do, music, etc. And then I'd find time in the evening to go and do a 5K. Yeah. And then I'm there like every day, constantly. And then, you know, on a Sunday I'd go, okay, I want to do a 10K just to switch it up. And like, you know, for me, I'd have no breaks. It was just every day, just constantly pushing my body. And it got to a point where I just shredded it all off. And I was like, and because I was, you know, looking in the mirror and seeing a change, it excited me, you know, gave me more confidence. And then I'd work harder and harder and keep pushing myself. And it was good. And then when I got to that, I was like, yeah, I feel fantastic.
Let's talk then about how you found the time to get into that kind of shape. Because when I was doing my research for this interview, you know, normally we sit and have a conversation about finding high performance in a certain field.
Yeah.
But it's not possible to have that conversation with you because you found high performance in the music world, in the boxing world, in the YouTube world. You got Sidemen, XLX. I spotted that on your necklace when you came in. Yeah. How do you manage to juggle so many things and not only that, juggle them at a really high level?
Well, it takes a lot of time. It takes time to figure out how to get to the point where I can understand what's going on and understand what I can do and what I can't do. So, when it comes to Sidemen, there were periods where it was just too much, where we were doing too much filming. So, now we got to a point after several years to get to a point where we're able to do certain videos at certain times and not need to do every single video. We're able to just find a good balance. Same with like the music, I'd go in the studio and just go in there for 12 plus hours, I hardly eat properly, or, I didn't really take care of myself. And it got to a point where I wasn't, I was making music, but I was really treating my body terribly. Yeah. So, I fixed that up, figure out a way to make it work. For example, if I made a song, I'll do like the verses beforehand, so that whenever I just go to the studio, all I'm doing is singing or rapping, and that's it. And it's like, I'm not wasting time trying to like figure stuff out, etc. And then, when it comes to, the boxing, again, there's times where I push myself too much, where, I just train way too much. I'll get sick or injured. And, I've learned to find a good balance between all of that. So, ultimately what I'm trying to say is, balance is the most important thing. And I've got a schedule on on Sheets, Google Sheets, which has my whole calendar of like everything that I've got going on. And, that is like my Bible. Whenever I need to know what's going on in the next few weeks, months, I'll look at that and go, okay, cool. I try to plan things. I've got a PA to help make sure I'm not overdoing certain things. Even with like podcasting, me going on podcasts, I'm very selective of, what I say yes to. I don't just say yes to everything. There was a period where I used to say yes to absolutely everything. But I mean, especially for someone who is starting out in this industry, you kind of have to figure out what you like, what you don't like. And then eventually, I've got to a point where I'm just happy to say no. And now I'm just in a really good spot after 31 years to know that, okay, this works, this doesn't, I enjoy this, I don't enjoy this, etc.
Did you know that less than half of Brits eat breakfast every day of the week? I mean, that's amazing, but why? Well, it's because we're all time poor, especially in the mornings, so we compromise. My fix is Huel's nutritionally complete high protein shake, a complete meal in a bottle that slots perfectly into my life. Head to the link in the description for a free t-shirt on your first order with Huel. How can you resist that? I think it's great because I think that some people make the mistake of thinking high performance means 100% of the time on every project. The truth is that's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. It doesn't make sense, really. You don't want to do that because then you're not able to put 100% into everything. It's kind of like 10% into everything. So for me, I've definitely now got to a point where I've just found the right balance, and I know, okay, if I want to put in more percentage into something, I know how to do it. Same with, whatever I do, so.
And tell me if this question doesn't make sense, right?
Okay.
Are you KSI less often now? Like, I assume I'm talking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking to JJ right now.
Yeah, 100% me, yeah.
This is the man behind the KSI. So with this sort of newfound approach to life, are you KSI less often?
Yeah, 100%, because I feel like KSI is quite draining. Being KSI, it's just...
Is it tiring?
It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's like, it's entertaining though. Like, I know when the cameras are on and I need to, play up, I know how to do it. And then as soon as the camera's off, I know how to just, reduce my energy and just be me again and just essentially be in sleep mode until I need to be KSI again. So like for me, I take a lot of naps. Like I could literally sleep anywhere, but I feel like it's needed, especially whenever I need to just find time in a busy schedule just to refresh myself.
Yeah. The truth is, there's also a cost, I think, to being a character all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we had Rylan on High Performance.
Yeah.
And he had a real mental health crisis because Ross, which is who he really is, was neglected. Because everyone loves Rylan. Rylan gets all the work. Rylan makes all the money.
Yeah.
Rylan's the megastar. Rylan has the millions of followers.
Yeah.
Can you relate to that?
No.
Great question, Jake.
Yeah. But I think...
Do you know what I mean, though?
But I think the reason why is because I've been quite smart to make sure that people know of JJ and of KSI. So people see KSI, you know, whenever I'm doing music, boxing, etc., they're like, oh, he's being that guy. But then on my YouTube channel, you know, my second YouTube channel is called JJ Olatunji. And it's just me just being me. You know, it's not like I'm going crazy all the time, but like it's a lot more real, a lot more human, where people can actually relate to it a lot more compared to how I was, for example, when I was fighting Tommy Fury and I was there like, I am the nightmare, KSI, like no one can defeat me, basically like I'm an anime character. But like that is what I need to be to get into the boxing mode, if that makes sense, to be like, no one can defeat me. And it's quite delusional, if anything, but you have to be delusional in the boxing ring to make sure no matter what goes on, you're there like, I will win. I'm going to beat anyone and have no fear.
Have you seen our conversation with Tyson Fury?
No.
Where he says the Gypsy King is fearless, strong, undefeated, powerful. Tyson Fury is a flawed individual that makes constant mistakes.
Yeah.
And he spoke very similar to you, really, that you always have to become someone else. To actually going in the boxing room with someone else is not a natural thing to do.
No, not at all. If anything, it's terrifying. Getting punched in the face, having a guy being able to knock you out, you know, that's there's a lot of fear behind that. But if you're a certain character that has no fear, a character that doesn't care what the opponent is and will defeat whatever is in front of him, that's powerful. And, you know, I like to tap into that a lot whenever I box.
So does KSI believe he can beat anyone he boxes?
Yeah, of course. Like you can put anyone in front of me and you know, the KSI character would just be like, yeah, I'm obliterating. Like I've trained too hard. You know, you ain't trained as hard as I have. Like I just know, like it's just having that mental force, being able to just say nothing can beat me, nothing can stop me. It's just so powerful. Yeah.
It must be so lovely to have that to tap into.
Oh yeah. Obviously, it's, you know, again, it's draining as well. Like it's a lot. Like, it's a lot on the body. Like especially after, you know, once the boxing fight is done, you know, after I'm just there like, ugh.
Do you know? Is there like when you're stepping in the ring though, and KSI is saying, "I'm going to just beat this punk. This is going to." Does JJ not pop up going, "Mate, look at his six pack. He's got huge guns.
No.
He's undefeated."
No.
So there's no voice. There's no JJ in your head.
JJ is long gone. JJ's in the back. Yeah, he's in back hiding. Like, yeah, it's all KSI at that point. Yeah, and because I've done it so many times, it's I'm able to just, you know, block that the human side of me that goes, oh fuck, this is ridiculous. I'm like in front of all these people and I'm fighting. They all want me to knock this person out. You know, can I actually do it? You know, am I actually good enough to do this? And then, I don't know, it's cool. I feel like I'm able to like rely on KSI because I know, you know, with him, I don't have to worry. It's like, boom, I know I'm going to succeed.
So how does KSI, not JJ, manage to succeed in all these areas? Because it's massively impressive, right? To look at boxing and want to shape it up and then to do that and do what you've done. To try and change the drinks industry and to sell millions of bottles of your energy drink, also incredible. To be one of the pioneers of YouTube, I don't really think that you get the credit for being a pioneer in all of these spaces.
Well, it's not like, I don't really need the credit. Like, I feel like my success, is proof, essentially. I don't really need to be in your face like, guys, respect me. Look at what I've done. Like, that's just not the type of guy I am. I'm quite low key. Like, a lot of people, when they, meet me or know me, like, they know I'm not really a guy that's out there.
Yeah.
But KSI is. Like, KSI is in your face. KSI will do crazy stuff. KSI will do whatever. And that is like the alter ego that just doesn't care. Whereas me, I'm just, very to myself. I hardly ever go out. I'm not a guy that, needs the fame. I'm just there, like, I'm happy just with my cats, with my girlfriend, with my family. That's it.
That sounds blissful.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, simple. It's so simple and it's so basic, but it's just beautiful. That's just what I love.
Do you get an energy though from people going, he's not a credible music artist, he's not a proper professional boxer, he's, that great phrase, he's just a YouTuber?
Well, I think it used to be the type of thing where, I love to prove people wrong. Whereas now it's like, I don't even need to prove people wrong. Now I'm just doing it for myself. Now it's just, okay, how far can I go? What can I do to excite me, to, to push myself to the next level, etc. I think, before it used to be when people were saying, you can't do music, you're not good at rapping, you can't even chart, and then I chart, and they're like, well, you can't get a #1 album, then I get a #1 album, or you can't get a top 5, and then I get a top 5, or you can't beat this person in the boxing ring, and then I do, etc. Like, it's just, after a while, I'm there like, okay, the proof is in the pudding. I don't need to keep on proving people. Now it's just, okay, what can I do to prove to myself that I can do more, and see how far I can go, what level I can reach, etc.
So do you feel that you know a secret to success? Do you think there's something that you've been able to repeat in all of your different endeavors?
I think to be successful in something, first of all, it's dedication. You need to just be at it all the time. You also need to be quite obsessive to the point where it just takes over your life and you just want to know everything about that thing.
Give me an example of that in your life.
I think when it came to like music, I was just like, how do I chart? What can I do? Or what things do I need to do in order to chart? And then in terms of like, okay, what type of chorus would make sense to chart? And I knew, especially during lockdown, that there was a little gap in the market. There was a lot of musicians were they didn't know what was going on. They were like, there's a lockdown, the whole COVID thing, and I was like, this is my time to just strike and go ham. So I just went studio, worked on several choruses, catchy choruses.
How did you know that though? Like, how are you gaining that information?
Well, it's just repetition, just constantly studying everything about music.
Right.
Just, like, I'm a type of guy that I don't put myself in one lane. So with music, I like rap. When, I personally like rap, R&B, bit of rock. That's about it. But like, in terms of what I do musically, I can do whatever. If it's pop, hip hop, just rap, R&B, Afro beats, anything, any genre, I go, okay, I can adapt, and then be able to attack and go, okay, cool, let me make this type of song or this type of song, etc. And I think that's what gives me a bit of an edge. With me, people don't know what to expect. Yeah. And I think that's what excites people. Like with music, I could just come through and hit people with, there's a song that recently leaked.
I saw that and I felt sorry for you. That was horrendous.
It was so annoying, but it happens. But there was a song that people heard and they were like, I didn't know KSI could do this. And I've heard this so many times. they're like, oh, I didn't know KSI could do this. I didn't know KSI could do this genre, etc. And that is just what I am. You don't know what to expect. And I like being able to just be free. And I think that's what is also another thing, you know, from determination, you know, being obsessive, but also being able to adapt. Because things change, you know, the world is always changing. And a lot of times I'm just watching, I'm just looking at what's going on. You know, every now and then I comment, but a lot of time I'm just staying in the background and I'm just watching. I'm going, okay, cool. This is what is trending. This is what's doing well. Cool. I need to adapt. I need to maneuver in this way in order to do well. Okay, so TikTok is popping. Okay, cool. I need to start working on TikTok more. Okay, I need, with YouTube videos, it needs to be a certain way, certain length, etc. Or, you know, there's always just certain things, and I am just able to just adapt. But that's just through me being obsessive with everything that I do. And I think that is definitely one of the key things. And obviously it's hard to adapt to everything because, you know, there's times where you could be doing something and it's working, and then it changes.
Yep.
And because you're so comfortable in doing the one thing, you just go, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna stay in this lane and you're just gonna ride it out. But eventually you just get forgotten. Whereas for me, I'm there like, oh, okay, the tide is changing. I'm gonna start changing as well. And I'm able to just do it. And, you know, I feel like I can tell when things move and when things are hot, and, you know, you just stay on that lane, so.
That's what I think is one of your superpowers, realizing what is needed, what is lacking.
Yes.
I mean, I think boxing is a fascinating example of seeing an opportunity that no one else saw.
Yeah. I just felt like, for me, especially with Misfits, I felt like there was an opportunity to, you know, do influencer boxing because, you know, no one in that space was doing it. No one in boxing is doing, you know, influencers fighting each other.
But did you not then think, well, no one's doing it, so maybe it's not possible?
No. With me, I'm there like, cool, this is an opportunity, let's go. So me and my manager, Mams, we just went, yeah, let's create this Misfits company and let's just have fun with it. Let's just see how it goes. And and then, you know, obviously I'd be fighting on the cards here and there or performing on the cards, and yeah, just make it work. That's just how I am. Like I just see opportunities and I go, okay, cool, this makes sense, let's do it. And I've had so many opportunities to do certain things and I just go, that won't make sense, I'm not gonna do it. And
so is that based on gut feeling, or is that more related to the kind of algorithm that you've used in a lot of your areas to drive success?
I think it's partly gut feeling, but it's also partly just looking at the landscape and going, does this make sense for now or the future? And a lot of times it doesn't. Yeah, and, you know, with that, you just have to go, okay, cool, and just be happy to say no. There's a lot of things on the internet or in the world where people are trying to find the next best thing all the time. Where a lot of time, you know, what is happening right now is still very hot. Yeah. And you've just got to take advantage of that before you adapt to the next thing.
And are you someone who already has in their head the end goal? Or are you someone that focuses on the process?
I'd say the process. I'd say the end goal is there to look at and be like, all right, cool. But the process is so important. Like, you've got to be able to enjoy the process. Maybe it's something as simple as a fighting camp. You know, the goal is to be in shape, to be 100%. But, you know, at the beginning, you know, you might not be as fit. You might not be as strong. You might not be as fast. And, you know, it could be quite a daunting task to be like, oh, okay, I've got 8 to 10 weeks of just continuous training at the highest level. And I have to go through it every single day. Can I do this? And then, you know, you look at the end goal and you're like, oh, is this even achievable? But like, for me, I'm there like, all right, no, let's bring it back. Let's enjoy every step, you know, bit by bit. That's just how it is. You can't just go and just look at the, you know, the end goal. You've got to just enjoy the journey, because then before you realize, you're at the end. And then you're like, oh my God, wow. And then you have the fight and everything. And then you just enjoy the moment. And then after it's done. And then it's like, okay, what's next? And that's what happens with most things, whether it's like YouTube, music, you could have a #1 this or a banger of a video on YouTube. And then everyone's like, all right, what's next? And for some people, that's a lot for them to take. That's a lot for them to deal with. That, okay, I put all my effort into all of this thing and then it's done. And now everyone's asking for what's next. And that's why it's so important to enjoy the journey, because then people can still be at what's next, but you enjoyed that time. Yeah. And it's, you don't really worry about what's next. You just there like, I had a good time. I enjoyed that. And then if anything, what's next is exciting because you're like, oh, cool. What's the next journey that's going to excite me? And then that's how I envision it anyway.
And have you actually taken time to stop and enjoy this journey?
Oh, yeah. Before I didn't. Before, there was definitely times where I didn't. And, you'd get depressed, you'd get sad, you'd lose yourself and you'd you wonder like, oh, do I want to do this, or why am I doing this, etc. Is, over the time.
When was that?
I'd say I've had a few times. I'd say 2017 was a time where I had like a 6-7 month break on YouTube where I didn't post. I deleted a load of tweets. At the time I delete all my tweets, delete like almost all my YouTube videos, delete all my Instagram photos. Like, I didn't even archive it, which is so stupid.
That seems a drastic thing to do.
Yeah, but like I was so impulsive. I was just like, I need to just leave the internet and just figure out myself. And
what was going on?
I got to a point where I felt like I'd reached the ceiling in my life and I wasn't able to get anywhere. It's like I had like a midlife crisis. I was like, is this it? Is this my life? Am I gonna just be doing this for the rest of my life? And this was before I was doing the music properly, and this was before I was, boxing, etc. I was like, I was like one of the top guys on YouTube. I was like, is this it? Like, I just make videos. And, even during that time, I wasn't enjoying the journey. I was just, end goal, looking at the end goal every time. And I was like, oh my God, is this it? Am I just gonna be doing this for the rest of my life? And then I freaked out. And I was like, nah, fuck this, I'm out.
Really?
Yeah. And then I kind of just went on holiday, traveled, enjoyed myself, tried to figure out what I wanted to do. And I was like, all right, I kind of want to be a guy that is able to just do whatever I want and not be stuck in this lane of, you're a YouTuber, you have to just do YouTube and that is it. So I started doing music. I started properly doing music. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be one of the biggest artists in the world. And that was the goal. And I was like, I know this is going to be a long, tough journey because, it's so funny, even back then, like the idea of a YouTuber being able to get a #1 album or a top 5, etc., just like no one could even fathom it. They were like, there's no way, shut up. Like, what are you doing? So, I use that to drive me. And then, over the years, I'll just be getting closer and closer to getting a #1. And then eventually I got one and I was like, I did it. Holy fucking shit, I did it. And this is sick. And then I was like, okay, boxing, like it kind of just fell on my lap with the whole Joe Weller thing. But I felt like this was another lane where I was like, okay, I want to test myself. I want to push myself. And then I went gung-ho on that. And, then the music and then YouTube. And then I kind of just was able to just get to this point where I was never just in one box.
So has all of the areas that you've got going on now stopped you going back to that dark place in 2017?
Yeah. Like, I'm never at that spot now anymore. Like, and, every now and then it can happen, or I can feel like it's coming. But then I just know, okay, there's something not right. There's something not right. And then that, I'd go see a therapist. talk it out, figure out what I need to work on. And then, yeah, after that, I'm able to, I'm a guy likes to be quite logical and go, okay, I need to do this and this to make this work. And I don't know, I just feel like, I feel like there's algorithms in like everything we do, like as humans. So I know, okay, I'm not happy right now. Why am I not happy? Okay, it's because I'm not training enough, or I'm not doing enough exercise, or I'm not seeing my family as much as I wanted to see them. I'm not, I'm not spending enough time with my loved ones, etc. Or I'm not able to enjoy my life. It's just work. And I'm able to, figure that out and go, okay, let me make a change. Let me sort that out. Let me do this. Cool. Now I'm happier. I feel better. Cool. And that's just it. And, a lot of times with a therapist, it's like an extra mind to, unlock something, which I see is really important. And it's not like I see a therapist, all the time, every week. It's like whenever I feel something is happening or I'm not in a good spot, I go, okay, let me message my therapist, book in a session, work it all out. Sometimes it could take a few weeks, a few months, it could take a week. And I go, okay, cool. Figure it out, boom. And then I'm back to being me again, being happy and blessed.
Was 2017 the first time you saw a therapist? Did you see one then?
No, so it's funny, like.
You need to hear this, okay? Your gut matters. It's a vital building block to health. Now, you might not know that 70% of your immune system is in your gut. I didn't know that. And 95% of serotonin, which is the feel-good chemical, is created in your gut. And if there's one thing we need more of, it's a feel-good chemical, right? That's why when it came to choosing a probiotic, I had to know it was proven and that I could fully trust it. And this is it. Biotic by Heights, specifically formulated to give you everything you need for your gut, your mind, and your immune system. I take it every day. And the difference for me is real. And you could trust me, fine, cool. Or you could trust the tens of thousands of high performers and elite athletes that rely on Biotic every day. So join tens of thousands of high performers and try Heights with an exclusive 20% off your first month only with this podcast. Go to heights.com/HP or enter the code HP20 at checkout. You'll love it.
In 2017, like the idea of going to the therapist, I don't know, I felt weak, if that makes sense. I felt like, I'm not man enough to just figure it out myself. So I didn't see a therapist in 2017. Yeah, it was only around, I think, 2020, 2021 when I actually started to see a therapist to really like figure out what's going on in here. But, I feel like a lot of people have this stigma, or it's this stigma to do with, seeing a therapist. They're like, nah, I don't want to be seen as weak. I have to go to someone to try and figure out my problems. But like, I see it as like this hack of being able to advance yourself. And you just need a little helping hand to get to that point. And, with everything I've done, like, especially throughout the years, I've always, promoted seeing a therapist if, mentally it's just not working. And like, so like, even, like we were saying at the beginning, something as simple as exercising can make such a difference. But then even if that helps, but it's not, the real solution, then so maybe sometimes you need to go into your past, figure out what your trauma is and attack it head on and deal with it for you to be able to, move on. I feel like a lot of people get stuck in the past or have this victim mindset where, I'm in this position because of this person, or I'm in this position because of that person. And they never let that go. And sometimes you just have to go, okay, that happened, but it's all right. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to sort this out myself. And I'm going to use this to make me stronger. And that's pretty much what I've just done. Yeah.
Amazing. Are you happy to share with us what you found when you looked and tried to work out?
Yeah, well, I mean, with me, having African parents, it's a lot of pressure. So, as the firstborn, pressure to be the best, to be a doctor, lawyer, etc. Pressure to be the breadwinner of the family, the pressure to just do well all the time. Yeah, it's a lot. And, it gets to a point where a lot of times I just hate just life. I'd be like, this is not fair. My bro has got such an easier time. Why do I have all the pressure, etc. And, even, back in the day when I would get like beat and stuff like that. And sometimes I'd get beat for misbehaving or being a dickhead. But then there's times where I would get beat, but it wasn't my fault. Or, I didn't deserve to get beat. And then I'd always hold that. And I'd always hold that anger, towards my parents. And I'd just be like, oh, this is not fair, da, 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 da. And, even the idea of saying no, I'd be afraid to say no. Because, if I said no to my parents, I'd just get beat. So like, I'd be like, okay, I'm saying yes to everything. And, it gets to the point where I wasn't caring about myself. It was always just making sure I please everyone, please. Just like I'd always want to try and please my parents. I'd always try to want to please everyone in like the industry I'm in just to make everyone else happy. But then I was never making myself happy. So, I'd see a therapist just to, attack all of this head on. And it got to a point where, you could see, like, I actually released a documentary on Amazon where you see parts of it. But, with the therapist, I was able to really, like, see my parents in a different light and go, see it from their point of view, how life was for them. Because, it's not like they were super rich. Like they were struggling a lot. They were in so much debt, but they were happy to put themselves in that amount of debt just to try and give us an opportunity, just to try and get us into private school, just to try and, the amount of times they would like remortgage or just take out loans just to try and be able to afford whatever school, whatever thing I'm doing, just to, give me as many opportunities as possible. And, I remember when I failed my A-levels, they lost their shit. And, at the time I was like, it's like, why have you put so much pressure on me? Like, I didn't even want to do any of this anyway, da, 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 da. And then, looking at it from their point of view, it's like they just put all this time and effort into getting me into this position. And for me to just toss it away, like, it's I guess, devastating. So, yeah, it's, I was able to, throughout my life, see it from their point of view, see their background, and see how their parents treated them. And it's just way, way worse. Because, they were, one of like 9 kids, and their parents just hardly gave a shit. Like, at least my parents gave a shit, what I mean? Whereas, theirs just hardly, all they did was just take from them. So, yeah, I before I used to always have this like mini hatred towards my parents. So it's now I'm just like, that's all gone. I absolutely love my parents. Love and adore them, and I understand their point of view, and understand where they came from, and even the idea of making them proud is just like so sick. So, yeah.
Mate, thank you so much for sharing that.
No, it's all good.
And I've got something I'd like to share with you, because we were sent a message from someone who wanted to tell you this, which is related to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Here's your dad.
Oh, wow.
Hey, big boy, it's your dad. I have a hug waiting for you.
No.
Throughout your younger years, I've always wanted to instill these 3 qualities in you. These are discipline, loyalty, and respect. You have always been performing at a very high level because of your family and friends. Your hard work and your never give up attitude is what makes you an Olatunji. I'm so proud of you and I love you.
Wow.
That's not even my dad, and it brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How does
It's
it-
so funny. My dad is such a guy that he doesn't say much, but you know, when he does say stuff, it's really dope to hear.
How do you feel when you see that?
It's just lovely, man. It's just I like, that's why I'm like, right now I'm just in such a good place where, you know, I'm just so happy with how everything is going.
You know what? On a human level, I'm so pleased that it's something that you've managed to resolve and to deal with, because I think that one of the really big lessons for a lot of people listening to this is they might be in a not dissimilar position to you, right, with their relationship to their parents or your former relationship with your parents. So what do you think solves it? Success.
Yeah.
Becoming KSI, you would have thought, and many people would have thought, well, that will solve any problems with thinking I'm not good enough for my parents. Did it?
No.
No.
No, not at all. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people think that.
Yeah.
And the way, I think for me, the way to really resolve everything is just forgiveness. I think if you are able to just, able to let go of the thing that is just dragging you down, then you will be free. Simple as that. But it's hard to forgive, you know, at times, you know, like even something as simple as someone cheating on you, or or someone betraying you, etc. Like, it's hard to look past that trauma. But when you do, when you let go of that, oh my God, it is the best feeling ever, because you're just, after, you know, in the future you go, oh, why did I ever let that thing drag me down? Why did I ever let that thing just cloud my whole mindset?
I also think that sometimes you can look at the way that you were brought up, right?
Yeah.
And you can see it through one prism.
Yeah.
But actually there's often multiple ways to look at the same experience.
Yes.
So I want to share with you a bit of psychological research. So the clinical psychologist Meg Ray published an article in the Wall Street Journal last November. It was a study of 400 extraordinarily high achievers, right?
Okay.
I'm counting you in that bracket.
Oh, wow.
All
Okay.
right?
All right.
When they looked at their lives, they found 75% of them had survived critical challenges in childhood. Clinical psychologist Mark Luciano said there's growing evidence that in middle and high school kids, character strengths are a reflection of their environment. You can't teach character by saying to kids, be more resilient, deal with your problems better, be more confident, be more self-assured. The only way for a young person to become more self-assured, more confident, more resilient is to experience those things. And I think that your upbringing meant that you had to be resilient. You had to be self-assured.
Well, I guess if my parents were a different way, maybe I wouldn't be in this position.
Almost certainly.
Which is quite funny, isn't it?
Have you thought about it like that?
Well, I mean, because I know their way of upbringing me, or bringing me up, should I say, meant that, I was going to be a hardworking person. It meant that I was going to be a person that was able to deal with pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Like, I'm a type of guy, like, if I'm going in a ring in front of all these people, there's like, my heartbeat isn't going. I'm just that cool as a cucumber. Like, I am just so relaxed, so chill. I just know what I need to do. And it's just because I've been in high pressure situations all the time.
But it also has given you what I think is a superpower of any high performer.
Yeah.
Which is resilience. Right?
Yeah.
Because I've spent years seeing resilient people outperform talented people.
Yeah.
By 100 to 1.
Yeah. And I guess, like, in the future, it's like, when I have kids, how do I want to bring them up?
What do you think?
And the thing is, I feel like I'm gonna be quite a hard parent. Like I feel like I'm gonna be the type of person that goes, all right, you know, you're never gonna be fat. You're always gonna be in shape. You're always gonna make sure. I'm always gonna make sure you're eating well. Like, yeah, you can have cheat meals here and there, but I want to instill quite a focused mindset. I still want them to enjoy life, experience things, because you tell a kid, don't do this, they're gonna do it eventually, and then they're gonna realize by themselves that they shouldn't have done that. But like, you can guide them, but ultimately they're gonna just do what they want to do, and I feel like I'm gonna just be that type of parent that will give them all the skills, and then just go, all right, do you enjoy yourself? Yeah.
But that's another great legacy that your parents have left, is that they've shown you one way and you've chosen another. Like, I'm no expert on parenting, right? I've made more mistakes than most. I've got 2 kids. You saw my son here today. He was dragging me around Oxford Street buying every bottle of Prime that was being priced, overpriced, by the way. Some of these shops are making a lot of money of your Prime. But I think the thing I found as a parent is to give your kids, even from a really young age, give them the information that they deserve. Treat your kids not like adults, but tell them why you're acting in a certain way. You don't just say you can't have that. The answer is to educate them. Yeah. And realise that actually, if you tell young people there's a reason why you're asking them to do a certain thing or not do another certain thing, it's amazing how well they react to that. Whereas, a lot of your upbringing was just, this is the rule, and that's how it is. I'm not explaining it, I'm not talking about it. That's the rule. It left you wondering why that is the rule. Yeah.
Well, it shows how important communication is. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, even relationships, a lot of relationships break down because the communication fails. They're just saying one thing and the partner doesn't understand why they're saying certain thing, etc. And then eventually they just, drift apart. So, with my relationship, it's had ups and downs. Like, it's just, no one's perfect. We've had times where, we've broken up, and we've had times where it's been absolutely phenomenal. And, through that, you kind of just, realize what makes sense, why certain things work, why certain things don't work. And, through time, you kind of just get to this point where, how am I going to say it? I guess this paradise where, at first you're in the honeymoon period where everything is amazing, everything's bliss. And then after that, you figure each other out. And then there's this friction of you trying to communicate how you are, she's trying to communicate how she is, etc. And then there's this friction, and it's just, for several years, you're going back and forth. And then, ups and downs, and sometimes there's a breaking point. But then after, that might be it and it's done. Or you might, after that point, realize how much you guys truly need each other. And then you both work on each other during that time, come back together, and then it just works. And then you communicate and everything. And it's just, after that, once you get past that really tough period, it's just bliss. And you hardly fight anymore because you just understand each other. And
then you have kids and it all goes to shit.
Yeah, well,
that's a whole new challenge.
We'll see. Yeah.
That's a whole new challenge. But do you like talking like this, having these sorts of conversations?
I'm pretty blessed with anything. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm pretty easygoing. So I'm happy to just
good, because I think it's important, because people see a certain person when they see KSI. Yeah. To see someone very different, which is the real you, which is JJ. I think the reason why that's important is because you have an incredible reach, right? Yeah. And with incredible reach comes incredible responsibility. Yeah. How often do you think about that?
Oh God, yeah, definitely a lot. I think for me, I've definitely portrayed this a lot to my audience, that I am a human being, which means I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm not gonna be perfect. I am a flawed human being. It's just how things are, you know. I'm figuring out life the same as everyone else is, you know, and through the mistakes that I make, I know, okay, cool. And then I improve on that and I get better. And, you know, I see myself as become a better human being because of my failures or my mistakes, etc. But, you know, I always tell my audience, like, yeah, there's a lot of pressure. A lot of people see me as a role model, but, you know, don't worship me. You know, I'm just like you. You know, I'm just like everyone else. Yes, you know, I have fame and, you know, money-wise, etc. But like, you know, when it comes deep down to the nitty-gritty, you know, I bleed the same as everyone else. You know, I have ups and downs in life, and nothing is perfect. Nothing is smooth sailing.
But what you have that most people don't have is this mouthpiece, this ability to...
Yeah.
You can really change the way people think. You can change the way people act. You can change the way people relate to each other, speak to each other. Is that important for you? Because I kind of feel like you can leave the world in a better place.
Yeah.
Or you can make loads of money.
Yeah.
But can you do both?
Well, yeah, you definitely can do both. And, you know, I've got legacy tattooed on my back, and that is one of the most important words for me. Because, you know, when I die, I want to be remembered as the guy who was like, you know what? I used to watch him, and he made me laugh. You know, maybe at times he made me cry, but fuck me, man, he made a difference. You know, like in how I felt or how I thought, or just me in general. He made me believe in myself, etc. And that's kind of just what I want, you know. And I say it with everything that I do, or, you know, I show it with everything that I do. Like, you know, I started in my bedroom, this little kid with just an idea, and then I just had more ideas and more ideas, and I just kept going and just wanted to see how far I could go. And I'm still seeing. So, yeah, you know, I know a lot of people who've been inspired by me. And, you know, I have a lot of people who, you know, who are inspired by me and, you know, want to do better than me. And I'm like, let's go. Like, this is what I want. I don't want to be seen as the guy who, you know, who shits on the younger talent or shits on the people coming up. You know, I take in everyone. You know, I'm a guy that, obviously there's certain people or things where I'm like, I don't really want to be associated with this. But, you know, for the best part, you know, as long as it's not hurting people, as long as it's helping people and bringing people up, you know, I'm always for it. So
I love the fact you've lifted others with you as you've gone.
Yeah.
You haven't kind of turned around. Let's say the Sidemen is a really good example, right?
Yeah. Equal.
Because how much of this would you have achieved from the start, totally on your own, with no collaboration, no help from other people?
Oh, of course, hardly any. Like, I wouldn't be in this position at all.
Life's a team sport, and you understand that.
Yeah, and yeah, I just don't understand how some people can be selfish or think about it as me. Like, I'm always a guy that, yeah, like, no matter what I do, like, I'm always trying to just bring my friends or family in. And I just feel like when you're at the top, isn't it better to be with everyone rather than just yourself?
And for people that doubt the power of collaboration,
Yeah.
whether it is creating Prime with Logan, whether the bottle you're drinking from today is a collaboration.
Yeah.
Tell us about the power of collaborating with others.
Bro, I've been collabing from the beginning. I remember even with FIFA videos, I would collab. And I would collab even when it doesn't make sense. I would still collab because that's just how I am. Like, I understand how powerful collaborating is, how, you know, uniting with another person can make such a difference, and, you know, how powerful that can.
Why is it?
I think because it's just, how can I word this? It creates something that's unexpected. Yeah. It creates something that no one knows what could happen, but it's exciting. It creates moments. Yeah. And, you know, I'm a guy that is always trying to create moments with whatever I do. And, you know, even me going on this podcast is like, it's creating a moment. Or me collaborating with an artist, you know, it creates a moment. You know, me collaborating on a YouTube video, you know, it creates moments. And these are all very special. And, you know, if I want to think of it from a business point of view, oh, it's just, you know, it's getting my name out there more. You know, you want to be, especially if you want to be in this industry, you want to put yourself out there as much as possible. And that's a great way to do it. Just collaborating.
See, sometimes I think some of the best collaborations that you've created have basically been beef with people.
Yeah.
They have, haven't they? In the early days, I remember thinking, who's this guy that just rows with everyone?
Yeah.
And everyone loves him. And I think there was a power in that, wasn't there?
Yeah, collaboration through hatred. Yeah, oh my God, yeah. I guess even with like boxing fights, I guess with Joella, there was beef. Yeah. But like that's collaboration.
Of course.
Of us, you know, battling each other, creating a huge moment that I guess started influencer boxing to the or launched it to the masses. Or, you know, with me and Logan, you know, even when I was doing like diss tracks, you know, like there's collaboration there of me just rapping about someone or clashing with someone. Yeah, like.
Well, I watched the Sidemen doc and you were talking about when you were writing diss tracks about each other.
Yeah.
But you're still talking about that years later.
Yeah, because it was a moment. It was a moment, that's it. Like, and you know, when I'm old and grey, I'll be able to look back and go, that was a cool moment, that was a cool moment. And look at all these dope moments and be like, you know what, I had a fucking sick life. And you know, I feel like I made an impact on this world because of it.
But with all these lovely conversations we're having about leaning into other people, empathy, understanding, like why still have an issue with someone like Jake Paul? Why not lean in and go, let's just be friends. Let's get to know each other.
I think for me, with me and Jake, I mean, you never know what can happen in the future, but I feel like, you know, there's this competitiveness between us where he thinks he can beat me. I think I can beat him. And it's just been unresolved. And, you know, I guess with me and Logan, you know, we had that. And then we create Prime. So, like, I know, like, everyone's been waiting for the fight between me and Jake. But it's, you know, it's one of the ones where he is too heavy, I'm too light, and we're just not agreeing. But I'm at a point where I'm just gonna wait. You know, like I'm at a point where I don't need to chase. I can just wait it out. Like eventually he's gonna have to come to my weight. Eventually he has to come, you know, say what's up.
I love the fact that you're proud of what you've done.
Yeah,
and you're proud of what
definitely.
you've left behind so far. How do you feel when you see? Because I think there's a lot of luck in what you've done, right? Because you were born at a time where technology allowed this to happen. All of your knowledge, all of your power, all of your skills, 50 years ago were worthless.
Oh, bro. Like,
because the internet didn't exist,
I don't even know what I would be doing. Yeah.
So how do you feel when you see people, let's take Andrew Tate as a good example, who see the technology and decide to use it for their kind of message?
I see a lot of the power that he has. He just uses it for hatred. Like a lot of hatred. And I feel like that is just negatively hurting the world because of it. And it's, you know, taking people down like a horrible path. You know, I don't want to get into details, but I just feel like his messaging, you know, at first when it came to like bringing up young boys who felt lost, felt like they weren't being heard. You know, he was the guy that was, you know, giving them guidance, you know, letting them be heard. But now he's just twisting that power that he's created and it's just making people hate one another. And he's just pushing people down this whole agenda of like the whole, you know, the matrix this, matrix that. You know, the Matrix is trying to get us, It's just, I don't know, clouding a lot of people and just creating a lot of tension between people. And, you know, I'm just not for that. You know, I'm always pushing, like, we can be peaceful. We can all just, you know, get along to a certain degree, you know, by just communicating our issues, our problems. And, you know, not everyone's going to agree. You know, there's going to be problems. You know, everyone's got their own idea of how things should work, how things should be run. But, you know, maybe it's okay to just hear everyone out and then figure out what is the right balance for everything.
What's it about, though? Why be like that? Is it power? Is it fame? Is it notoriety?
I think it's
Who does it benefit?
I think, I don't know, maybe him, maybe it's, the thing is, it's like, some people can just have a power complex. Some people just like the idea that they're able to create something crazy or just do something to an extent where everyone is just going crazy because of that one person. And they just like that. It just boosts their ego, makes them feel good. They like to just see what, you know, how powerful they truly are. You know, it's just how humans are. Like, not everyone's gonna be a good person. You know, even if you have good intentions, you know, it could still be bad. You know, a lot of times you just need to step back, you know, avoid all the noise and just try and be like clear and see all sides and then make a decision from that rather than just blindly following someone. And that's why I tell my audience, don't just blindly follow me. You know, listen to what I have to say, listen to what someone else has to say, and then make your own decision.
Look, before we wrap up, and I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
What do you still want to do?
Well, that's what I want to do. Oh, bro, I want to have kids, man. I want to have kids. You know, I want to get married. I kind of want to just live that life. You know, like, I feel like that's the next step for me. And yeah, you know, I also want to, you know, release an album. Also, you know, still want to fight. I still want to, you know, do Sidemen videos, YouTube videos, etc. But like, I think for me personally, I think, you know, having kids and, you know, marriage and everything, I think that's, for me, the next step, and that's something I really want to do.
That's the real legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Ready for them?
Let's do it.
What are the 3 most important non-negotiable behaviors in your world?
Hard work. But I mean, that could mean anything. Well, how can I say? Obsession.
Yeah.
I'd say obsession is one. Like, no matter, you know, what you do, if you want to be one of the top people, you have to be obsessed, and you have to love it. I'd say love as well. You have to love what you're doing. If you don't love it, there's really no point in doing it, because you're not gonna enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it now, you're probably not gonna enjoy it in the future, etc. So
Find something you love.
Find something you
Obsess
love.
over
Obsess over it. And then never be super comfortable, if that makes sense. Like, never just stay in one lane, or never just be like, oh, this is it. You know, be ready to adapt at all times.
What's your biggest strength? What's your greatest weakness?
Biggest strength is probably my mindset. I'm able to just understand things, or, you know when it makes sense to do something, when it doesn't make sense to do something. I'm able to just, yeah, like, even like high pressure situations, I'm able to just lock in and just do what I need to do. And my weakness, sweets. Being taken advantage of. Yeah, I'd say that happens a lot. But I'm the type of guy that I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, I just brush it off and just move on. But yeah, I'd definitely need to improve on not letting people take advantage of me. Yeah.
What's the best bit of advice you've ever been given?
Best bit of advice? when you don't feel like doing something is the best time to do it. So it comes down to exercise. The amount of times where I've just woken up and gone, I can't be asked to do this. Or late at night and I'm like, oh, can I be bothered to do this? And then I trick my mind and go, now is the best time to do it. Yeah, I think that's what, I don't know who said this to me, but that's probably one of the best advice I've ever gotten, because it's so crazy how powerful the mind is. If you're able to trick this, then you'll be able to just do so many things and you won't even realize your potential from that.
Are you happy?
Yes. Very happy. Yeah. And like, I'm happy just being me. I'm happy with everything that has happened in my life, from the ups and downs. I'm happy with how my life has gone. Like, I'm happy that my life wasn't smooth sailing. Yeah. I'm happy that, I've been through hardship. I've been through traumatizing things, because it's made me the person I am today. And I feel like, a lot of people can learn from that.
And the final question after this amazing conversation.
Yeah.
What would you like to leave ringing in the ears of the many people that will listen to this in terms of finding their own version of high performance?
Well, I mean, ultimately, find what brings you joy in life. And if you don't know what that is, just throw yourself into things. Just throw yourself into random things. See what you like, see what you don't like. That's the best way. I feel like a lot of people, feel like they can't get anywhere or they can't do things. And it's just like, well, then just YOLO into it. Just try stuff. See what happens. There's gonna be a lot of things that you don't like, a lot of things you don't enjoy. I tried golf. I thought I was really good. I'm shocking. I'm terrible. And, I have this mindset where I still think I'm very good, but I know I'm not good, and I've stopped doing that. Oh, yeah. But it's just like, there's things where I've tried and I've failed at, like, badly. But then there's things that I failed at, but I enjoyed. And those are the things where I went, okay, we got a journey here. And then I just went with it.
Brilliant. Listen, mate, I've loved that conversation.
Yeah,
I think that
likewise.
the most fascinating thing for me is that you've ended up in a place where you realise that for the traumas and the challenges and the difficult times in your past that you clung on to and were angry about, you're now realising that actually there's as much gratitude for those things, for what they've given you. And you are like a talented guy. But more than that, you're resilient, you're hardworking, your self-belief is rock solid.
Yeah.
And I love that you've ended up in a place where actually stepping back, being JJ a bit more, being KSI a bit less, prioritising relationships with people, thinking about kids. Honestly, the true journey is still ahead of you.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
And that's what I'm most excited about of all.
I can't wait.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to being the Godfather.
Of course.
Thank
you, man.